This is the story of Elisabeth Fritzl, which shocked the world. It is also known as the Fritzl case. Elisabeth was only 18 years old when she suddenly disappeared. No one knew where she had gone. After 24 years of being missing, the police found Elisabeth Fritzl, and the place where they found her will shock you. Elisabeth was born on the 6th of April 1966 in Austria. Her father's name was Joseph Fritzl, and her mother's name was Rosemary. Elisabeth had 6 brothers and sisters. Elisabeth was very tired of her father's anger and beatings from childhood. When Elisabeth was 18 years old, she wanted to leave home because of the situation. She wanted to live a better life. Elisabeth also started working in a restaurant at that time, and it seemed that something good was coming in her life. But on the 29th of August 1984, Elisabeth suddenly disappeared. Elisabeth's family members started searching for her, but even after many days, when nothing was found about Elisabeth, Elisabeth's mother filed a missing complaint with the police. A few more days passed, and a letter came to Elisabeth's house. It was written in it that I am living with a friend of mine, and I am very happy, so do not try to find me. The handwriting was also Elisabeth's. This was very strange because Elisabeth's friends did not know anything about her. Elisabeth's father, Joseph Fritzl, handed over the letter to the police. The police and everyone else thought that Elisabeth had left her house of her own accord, and this case was closed. But no one knew that Elisabeth was imprisoned in the basement of her own house. This basement had 8 doors, and the key to each door was only with Joseph Fritzl. Elisabeth was imprisoned in the small basement of her house for 24 years. This room was soundproof, and no one else was keeping her in prison. It was her own father, Joseph Fritzl. What Elisabeth's father did to her in these 24 years, you cannot even imagine. Only a mentally ill person could do this. Joseph would go to Elisabeth with food and water every 3 days. In the beginning, Joseph used to beat Elisabeth a lot, but gradually it turned into sexual abuse. Elisabeth became pregnant 7 times in these 24 years, and all this was done by her own father. Elisabeth and her children had to live like cats in the basement. Elisabeth's children had never seen the outside world. Joseph was doing all this to her own daughter Elisabeth, and she kept doing it for 24 years. But no crime is perfect. One of Elisabeth's 7 children died as soon as she was born, and 3 children were imprisoned with Elisabeth, and 3 children were living with Joseph in the same house. The devilish Joseph would keep these 3 children in front of him as soon as they were born, and say that these are his daughter Elisabeth's illegitimate children. One day, one of the 3 children who were imprisoned with Elisabeth, whose name was Christine, became very ill due to living in the basement. Elisabeth begged her father Joseph, who was also the father of that child, to take that child to the hospital. Joseph agreed to this. When Joseph took Christine to the hospital, the doctor said that Christine has kidney failure at such a young age. The doctors asked Joseph about Christine. Joseph said that he found her on the road. The doctors did not believe this at all and informed the police. The police did not believe Joseph's words at all, and the police started their investigation. Joseph was troubled by the police investigation. He was afraid that the police might search his house. With this thought, he decided to free his daughter and her children. Elisabeth reached the hospital with her 2 children to see the 3rd child. The doctors in the hospital were already suspicious of Joseph. One of the doctors informed the police, and the police started their investigation, and finally on the 26th of April 2008, the police arrested Joseph. On the 19th of March 2009, the court sentenced Joseph to life imprisonment. Joseph is currently serving his sentence. He has been kept in a special cell where mentally ill people are kept. Elisabeth was completely cured. After going through the torture she went through for 24 years, she was sent to a small town in northern Austria to live. Friends, don't forget to like and comment down your thoughts. If you want to see more videos like this, do subscribe.